Hello, knowledge seekers. Welcome back to the Knowledge Emporium, where we dive deep into the intricate world of tech, business, and more. Today, we're exploring a critical development in India's tech landscape. Why an Indian startup lobby has filed an antitrust complaint against Google. This is a complex issue, so grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get started. The Alliance of Digital India Foundation, or ADIF, is a lobby group representing Indian startups. Recently, they filed a complaint with the Competition Commission of India, or CCI, accusing Google of anti-competitive practices in the online advertising market. This isn't the first time Google has faced antitrust scrutiny in India. In 2022, the CCI fined Google for abusing its dominant position in multiple categories related to the Android mobile device ecosystem. The latest complaint comes at a crucial time, as India is discussing a new digital competition law that could reshape the tech landscape. To understand ADIF's complaint, let's first look at Google's market dominance. Google holds a significant market share in several key areas. Search. Google Search dominates the market, with over 90% market share worldwide. In India, it's even higher, at around 98%. Online advertising. Google's ad platforms, including Google Ads and Display and Video 360, account for a significant portion of the global online advertising market. Mobile OS Android, Google's mobile operating system, powers around 85% of smartphones worldwide and has an even higher share in India. This dominance, ADIF argues, allows Google to engage in practices that stifle competition and harm Indian businesses. ADIF's complaint focuses on several aspects of Google's business practices. Let's break them down, starting with the ad ranking system. Google's ad ranking system allows advertisers to bid on keywords, determining when and where their ads appear. Advertisers set a maximum bid, the most they're willing to pay when someone clicks on their ad. This system, ADIF argues, is like a black box, lacking transparency and leading to several issues. For instance, Google allows competitors to bid on trademarked keywords. This can lead to a bidding war, driving up ad prices and benefiting Google at the expense of advertisers and trademark owners. ADIF contends that this practice artificially inflates advertisement prices, making it difficult for smaller players to compete. Next, let's talk about self-preferencing. ADIF accuses Google of favoring its own services over competitors in search results and other platforms. For example, when you search for a location on Google, you'll often see Google Maps results prominently displayed. This can make it harder for competing services to gain visibility, restricting market access and negatively impacting startups that rely on these services. The European Commission has previously fined Google for similar practices, such as promoting Google shopping results over competitors in search results. ADIF is also concerned about Google's Privacy Sandbox initiative. This project aims to remove third-party cookies from websites accessed via the Google Chrome browser. Third-party cookies have been a significant tool in the digital advertising industry for decades, used by websites and internet applications to remember information about a user. While Google presents this as a privacy-enhancing move, ADIF argues that it could significantly hamper non-Google demand-side platforms' ability to serve advertisers effectively. This is because these platforms rely on third-party cookies to target ads and measure their performance. Without them, they may struggle to compete with Google's own ad platforms. Now, let's discuss India's draft digital competition law. Taking inspiration from European regulations, India has proposed the Digital Competition Bill 2024. This bill aims to address some of the concerns raised by ADIF and other critics of big tech companies. Here are some key aspects of the bill. Self-preferencing. The bill seeks to stop tech giants like Google, Facebook, and Amazon from self-preferencing their own services. This could mean that Google, for instance, would have to provide equal visibility to competing services in its search results. Data sharing. The bill also addresses the role that data collected by one company of a major technology group can play in benefiting other group companies. It proposes to designate Associate Digital Enterprises, or ADEs, which would have the same obligations as systemically significant digital enterprises, or SSDEs. Presumptive norms. The bill introduces presumptive norms to curb anti-competitive practices preemptively. This means that certain behaviors by big tech companies would be presumed to be anti-competitive unless proven otherwise. Heavy penalties. The bill promises to impose heavy penalties for violations, which could amount to billions of dollars. This could require big tech companies to make fundamental changes to their various platforms. So, what could this draft law mean for Google and other tech giants? Let's look at some potential implications and examples. If the bill becomes law, Google might have to make significant changes to its platforms. For instance, Google Search, Maps, and YouTube could be designated as ADEs, with obligations depending on their involvement with the core digital service. Let's consider Google Search and Maps. Currently, Google Search often steers users towards Google Maps for location-based queries. Under the new law, this practice could be seen as self-preferencing. Google might have to provide equal visibility to competing map services, potentially leading to a more diverse and competitive market. Similarly, YouTube's recommendations could be scrutinized. If data sharing between Google Search and YouTube is deemed to give YouTube an unfair advantage, Google might have to adjust its practices to ensure a level playing field. It's important to note that these are hypothetical scenarios, and the actual implications would depend on the final version of the law and how it's enforced. So, what's next? The CCI will review ADIF's complaint and decide whether to launch an investigation into Google's practices. Meanwhile, the draft digital competition law is still under discussion and could see changes before it's finalized. If the law is passed and the CCI finds Google's practices to be anti-competitive, the company could face significant fines and be required to make changes to its business practices. However, Google could also appeal any decisions, potentially leading to a lengthy legal battle. It's worth noting that India isn't alone in scrutinizing big tech companies. Around the world, there's a growing trend of regulators and lawmakers taking a closer look at the market power of these giants. In the US, Google, Facebook, Amazon, and Apple are all facing various antitrust investigations and lawsuits. In Europe, Google has already been fined billions of euros for anti-competitive practices. This global trend reflects increasing concerns about the influence of big tech companies on our economies and societies. As these companies continue to grow and expand their reach, regulators are grappling with how to ensure they operate fairly and in the public interest. And there you have it, folks. The tussle between Indian startups and tech giants like Google is part of a broader global trend with potentially far-reaching implications. What do you think about ADIF's complaint and the draft digital competition law? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for joining us on this in-depth knowledge expedition. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Knowledge Emporium for more insightful content. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the fascinating world around us.